and Henry's standing would soon put his entire family straight into the crosshairs of white rage and state retaliation. The other family involved in this incident was a white family, the Wallaces. The head of the family was a man named James Troop Wallace. The Wallaces were a former slaveholding family. The 1850 U.S. Federal Census slave schedules show that the Wallace family owned 4 enslaved black people. By 1860, they had increased that number to 14 enslaved black people, ranging in age from 32 to 8 years old. The Delegals and the Wallaces were neighbors, but there was tension between the two families. Henry had wealth, and he had prestige, and I can only imagine for a former slaveholder family, this did not sit well with them and others in the community. And the Wallaces didn't just resent Henry. They tried to bring him down. Once, a nephew of James Troop Wallace tried to sell Henry a stolen ox. Henry reported it to the police and had the man arrested. This intensified the hatred for Henry by the Wallaces. After this, they did everything they could to try to get him arrested and thrown in jail. Tried to take everything they could from him. They made up all kinds of lies about Henry. Once they said he cut timber on someone else's land, but those charges never stuck. They tried other things, but they could never get him arrested. Henry was too respected, too well liked, and too well known. That was until 1899. James Troop Wallace had a daughter named Matilda. She was born in 1873. In 1895, she was around 22 years old, and she married a man named Joseph Hope. Something happened, and shortly after they married, Joseph abandoned Matilda. In July of 1899, with no husband around, 27-year-old Matilda came up pregnant. Now, this in and of itself was not the end of the world, but that was until she had the baby girl that she named Emma, who was mixed race and clearly had a black father. And as you can imagine, that caused problems. James Troop Wallace went to the authorities and said that Henry had violated his daughter, and he got her pregnant. He signed an affidavit claiming that the act took place the previous winter, and he gave them a reason for why no one said anything sooner. He said Matilda had been afraid of Henry, that Henry had threatened her. But that explanation didn't make much sense. Not in the world they were living in. Because when white families believed a black man had touched a white woman, they didn't wait 30 days. They didn't file affidavits. They gathered the men, found the rope, and lit the fire. Henry turned himself in to McIntosh County Sheriff Thomas Blunt. And almost as soon as he got there, Sheriff Blunt wanted to move Henry to Savannah. He said it was for Henry's safety, to keep him away from the mob. But black people in Darien were not having it, and did not believe that for 1 second. They had seen this scenario play out too many times before.